Hi guys, I'm back. We're back with another round of God's promises, things that are in the Bible that we can stand on. How do we stand on those things? We've talked about some of God's promises. We've talked about some of the ways that God's provision provides for us. We've talked about how God is with us. Today we're going to dive into what Jesus actually promised in the things that he said, the way that he provided for us. The promises that Jesus provides that we can truly stand on. Now, some of these Bible verses are ones that I turn back to on a daily basis. I'm Dan, and I've been working my way through some of God's promises, both here on YouTube and on TikTok, depending on where you're watching this right now. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever the heck that junk is, so that you can catch some of the past videos and any of my future. I do all sorts of content, talking about daily Bible verses, trying to be encouraging, and at the end of the day, it's all about getting better so we can do a little bit better, so we can be better in the long run. Jesus promised us a whole lot of things in the Bible. His words come out as so many different promises, so many different parables, so many different things that he said. And whenever I think about what Jesus said in the Bible, I'm almost overwhelmed. And so having a few Bible verses to go back to, having a few things that he said to go back to stand on, to remember, help us in times of need, help us when we are struggling with certain problems, help us when we feel like all hope is lost. I don't know about you, but these last several years have been quite the challenge. We've all been through so much. Me personally, I've lost my marriage, I've lost my career, I've lost jobs, I've lost income, I've lost my house. I sit now in a place where I can see how God has provided through all of those things, how his promises continue to come true for me in my life, especially as I dive farther into learning who God is and who I'm supposed to be as a follower of Christ, as a disciple. Let's dive into just a few of these things that Jesus says and see how maybe they apply to us and to me, and maybe you can comment below and let me know how they apply to your lives. Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I don't know how many times I've gone back to this verse. I've gone back to this concept that Jesus is light. His yoke is easy. He wants to carry all of our burdens. He wants to give us rest. And I don't know how many times my life has been absolutely chaotic, stressful. I have felt that weight. And by having a conversation, by just talking to him for a little while, that burden gets a little bit lighter. John 14:6 says, Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. This was just a verse of the day not too long ago, and I'm always amazed by this because it's this gentle reminder for me, maybe a smack in the face for others, that the only way we get to God, the only way that we get to heaven, essentially, the only way that we get to that eternal life is by knowing Jesus, by following him, by knowing him, and by accepting him. We have to do that on a daily basis. We have to ask him questions. We have to learn who he is. In some of my darkest times, John 8:12 says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. I've been in some really dark spots. I've never been suicidal myself. However, I have faced things that have made me realize what makes someone turn to something possibly so terrible. But Jesus is the light of the world. When you're walking in the absolute darkest spots, search for him. There's a bunch more, and we're going to come back to them. If you like what we're doing, if you'd like to know more, like, comment, subscribe. There's a link even if you'd like to chat with me about some of these things. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you're struggling with. God bless.